Hi everyone, this is Kathy. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the interview that Trump gave with ABC News and a reporter named Terry Moran. Trump granted an interview to this guy who's not very well known, and he came into the White House not trying to do a genuine interview, in my opinion, but looking for gotcha moments, trying to contradict everything that Trump said. I mean, I look at Terry Moran as an activist interviewer, not a true journalist trying to do a fair, unbiased interview. I mean, he spent a lot of time interrupting, asking dumb questions. But like I said, he was just looking for the, gotcha moments and trying to corner the president into absolutisms, meaning forcing him to, speak in absolute format, which is not very realistic in my opinion. I mean, Mr. Moran made statements instead of asking questions, which I'm going to show you. And, the thing I like about Trump is, he's always himself. He's candid. He's not rehearsed. He doesn't feel like he needs to speak in political rhetoric. So I want to show you a couple clips. The first is about Pete Hegseth and Putin. I also want to get into some articles that show that Biden and Obama went around the due process when it comes to deportations. And I'm also going to touch a little bit on the Abrego Garcia issue, which also comes up in these interviews. But let's look at this first clip here.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
I think he's going to be a very good hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have 100% confidence in Pete Hegseth?
I don't have 100% confidence in anything. Okay, anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
it's a pretty important position.
No. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Let's go.
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does, yes. I think he does.
Do you trust him? Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
And
happy.
then you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered with a tattoo doesn't have the tattoo.
All right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
No, I'm not.
Let me
No,
just
I am not,
tell you,
sir.
I don't trust a lot of people. There was a...
I mean, the guy is just arrogant right off the bat, and it just puts me off. But here's a second part.
Crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods. And so I want to ask...
About my message?
Methods. About your methods. How you're accomplishing
They seem to
this.
work.
Under our law, every single person who gets deported gets a hearing first to make their case.
Well, are we talking about people that are citizens of our country or not?
No, you aren't deporting citizens at this point.
Well, did we give them a hearing when they came in?
Well, the law requires that every single person who is going to be deported gets a hearing first.
Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law
give
is the
21
law,
million?
sir. The law is the law, and you are
the law
sworn
doesn't
to
say anything
uphold it.
about trials.
No, not trials, hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in, they're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country illegally.
And
we have to get them out.
There's a legal process for that.
I can't be sure, and we follow the legal process.
But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he's the Salvadoran man who crossed into this country illegally, but who is under a protective order that he not be sent back to El Salvador. Your government sent him back to El Salvador and acknowledged in court that was a mistake. And now the Supreme Court has upheld an order that you must return him facilitate his return to the United States. What are you doing to comply?
Well, the law...
Now, let me just say one thing about that. Yes, the Supreme Court said that we must facilitate a way for him to get back into the U.S. That means give him a plane ride back to the U.S., hire a taxi to drive him back. It doesn't mean kick in the door of the prison and commit a prison break,
The lawyer that said it was a mistake was here a long time, was not appointed by us, should not have said that. This is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, And the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay?
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador.
You know, why is the news media so obsessed with this guy who is a gang member and a wife beater? It just blows my mind.
Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has
he's
ordered
not.
you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. On his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshop. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that.
Okay, let me show you guys something. All right, here is a picture of Abrego's hand. This is what Trump is talking about. Now, Trump did make a mistake. The MS-13 that you see there, that is printed in on the picture. What they're actually trying to show is the marijuana tattoo on his first finger stands for the M. The happy face, the S, the cross is the 1, and the skull is the 3. But the reporter is correct. The MS-1 and 3 is not tattooed on his hand. So he is correct about that.
Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it was
agree to disagree.
Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. Look at
Why
that,
don't you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
Okay, so that's just a sample of, really what that interview was about. It was contentious. It was back and forth. It was the guy interrupting Trump, looking for what in my opinion, are the, I gotcha. One thing I wanted to show you was, this is an article here. This is about Obama. Let me pull this down a little bit. This was in May of 2014. The headline is Speed Over Fairness, Deportation Under the Obama Administration. And one part right here says, the Migration Policy Institute released a report on the Obama administration's immigration enforcement record. One of MPI's principal findings is that the deportation system has dramatically changed over the past 19 years, moving from a judicial system prior to 96, where the vast majority of people facing deportation and immigration court hearings, to a system today of non-judicial removals, where 75% of people removed do not see a judge before being expelled from the U.S. Now, that was the Obama administration. I also found this other article. I'll show it to you guys right here. No Fair Day. Damning report reveals the Biden administration's unlawful treatment of children in the immigration courts. It says a damning new report released today by the Center for the Immigration Law and Policy at the UCLA School of Law finds that the Biden administration has failed children in immigration court under its watch. Despite taking important steps in its early days, the report details how the administration's policies have led to grave injustices for children facing immigration court proceedings in the U.S. and resulted in tens of thousands of children ordered deported, most without legal representation or a fair day in court. So, the reporter is harping on Trump about due process. These illegal aliens who crossed over the border, a lot of them are criminals committing, heinous acts in this country. Trump is trying to get them out, and he's right. There's about 20 million people that came over during the Biden administration, and it's a lot of people that he has been mandated to deport. So those two articles that I just read show that the Biden administration and the Obama administration both skirted over a due process, which, Trump, maybe he's taking a little liberty with due process in trying to get rid of the 20 million illegals who are, criminals in this country. But nobody ever said anything about the Biden administration or the Obama administration. But with Trump, of course, a ton of bricks come down over his head. And, the last thing I want to say is Trump is a very transparent president. I mean, he's in front of the press every single day. He's answering questions in the White House, out on the lawn before he gets into the helicopter. So an interview like this, I really don't feel is that necessary, especially with an activist interviewer. ABC is just horrible. They're completely liberal. They don't like him, and I just don't feel like this kind of an interview is necessary. In a lot of ways, it doesn't make Trump look great. I think he's trying to deflect a lot of the questions and, answer them the best way he can while being as transparent as he can. I really do feel like he's trying to be very honest, but it's difficult when you have somebody who is hell-bent on being against you right from the get-go. And I also would like to point out that ABC, who, they obviously don't like Trump, they had to pay him a $15 million settlement over the alleged rape case for Jean Carroll, that he supposedly, raped her, which is not true, in my opinion. But they ended up having to pay him a $15 million defamation settlement. So that just shows you where ABC News stands with Trump. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. And, let me know what you guys think. Shoot me a comment down in the comment box. I'd really appreciate it. If you guys could like and subscribe to the channel, I would like that too. I'd love it. It would really help the channel out a lot. Thanks for supporting me, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.